I believe if you're going to criticize the creative content of others, bring a creative solution to the table with you.
Okay.
While this video analyzes certain aspects of Sonic's gameplay, I do not claim to be an authority on game design.
This is already golden.
I only mean to present creative ideas to a problem I recognize in a struggling franchise. Dear Sega, my name...
Oh. Lucky Bee says it like that too. It's so gross. That's how Australians say it. They say Sega. Top 10 hottest female Sonic characters. We're not going into your weird porn stuff. We're going to watch this man's lovely redesign.
I'm also a game design graduate and develop small-time games on the side. In this video, I'll be presenting my case for redesign for one of your most enigmatic franchises, Sonic the Hedgehog.
So not the character, the actual games?
It's no secret that you're...
the character too, that's it.
I want to look at the cold hard data and present a creative solution for a redirecting, if you will, of your mascot. Before we go further, I think Chris Chan would throttle this guy. I think it's important that we look at your sales and your ratings, and take a look at how your platforming rival Mario is tracking as well. So here is a graph.
This seems like a horrible way to divine design. Unless your conclusion is going to be, oh, just make it like Mario, or how do you get game design out of that comparison? People like Mario, so just make Sonic move like Mario. What is he going to pull from this?
Graph of your sales.
Make Sonic into a hero shooter. If this video was from 2016, it would be, oh, we should make Sonic into a hero shooter. What are you doing?
Without any surprise, Mario's first game, which came out during the very young and ripe age of gaming, owns spot number 4.
The very young and ripe age of gaming? I feel sick. Why you gotta say it like that, man? I remember that young, ripe Italian.
But let's move on to reviews. These are very important in gauging how successful the game was in connecting with your audience.
Critic reviews? Game journal reviews? No, bro, what are you doing?
So here is a graph of Sonic's reviews according to GameRankings.com.
We need the Polygon 10 out of 10. The next Sonic game must feature Miles Prower catching AIDS. He'll slowly deteriorate throughout the game if you don't beat it fast enough.
Now the reason I've been adding in Mario is to show you that as a competitive platform game, he's...
Look at the Mario line. Mario has the ability to triple jump. What do you see here? Bing, bing, wahoo! Sonic, famously, rolls into a ball and shoots off ledges, curves downward. Look what happens to his line. It curves downward. We need to give Sonic directly the power of flight. Sonic and Tails have to have a child.
This information is telling us that there is a disconnect happening between your games and your audience.
Bing, bing. This music is way too busy as well, by the way.
And I think I know what it is. So here I will present my ideas while at the same...
Here we go. What's it going to be? I genuinely have never seen this or heard anyone talk about this.
...time explaining what I believe are the problems we're fixing. So let's bring in Sonic.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Claymation? We need to make him look like one of those watercolor point and click game protagonists. Are you serious? Unless he suggests it should include claymation gore. Imagine Sonic getting his head sliced open and you can see his skull and his brain and stuff.
First thing to notice is the art style.
The fucking movement. Jesus Christ. Sonic looks like a little gimmick animation in a Rusty Lake puzzle game. Like you move a painting and there's a little hole and this little fucking freak comes running out and bites your finger or something in one of those escape room games. You know what I'm talking about?
We're steering away from the 3D models you've been using.
I want to break that little freak's legs. Use them as toothpicks. I want to hear that freak scream in agony as I torture him. No, this ain't it.
...of the last 17 years, and bringing in a more organic aesthetic through paint and water brush. Colors remain relatively the same, but Sonic's lean and a bit more animal.
Colors remain mostly the same, but Sonic's lean and more animal. What does that even mean? I want to fuck you like a lean animal. What is he... The problem is Sonic's fatness.
opposed to your fuller, more attitude-heavy design. He has a
We need a young, ripe Sonicussy.
backpack symbolizing adventure, and his gloves and socks are gone. He's white.
What a slut. His arms are also blue. This is what would happen if Crash Bandicoot and Sonic had a child, but they got the bad sperm. They got the Down syndrome mutant sperm. This is what gets born.
Wide-eyed and vulnerable. He's still fast, but isn't cocky about it.
I want a young, ripe, lean animal that's wide-eyed and vulnerable to me. You're a freak. You're such a freak. Holy shit.
In fact, he doesn't have much expression at all. He's a blank canvas.
Sonic's problem is that it has too much of a soul.
So,
Alright.
while I think the overall spirit and feel for Sonic is there, he's a little bit different. Why?
And this video was serious and he deleted it? This is 10 out of 10 troll. If he was trolling, actual 10 out of 10.
Because he isn't designed to appeal to children.
He's designed to sate a man's appetite. What do you mean?
Giga, this is why I believe your games aren't connecting anymore. You're targeting the wrong demographic. Let me explain.
We need a gritty, mature, Sonic. Come on! By which I mean a potato on toothpicks. What are you...
Sonic 1 was released in '91, and this was the ad.
Gotta go.
Now let's watch
Okay.
an ad from 2014's Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom? Nah, I want Sonic Coom. You see, Knuckles is clearly ethnically coded, and adult gamers hate black people. That's where Sega's been going. What's he complaining about? Sonic has a pussy in this ad.
Sega, here is the main problem. The fanbase you established with the first Sonic game in '91
Are all severely autistic and haven't grown up.
4 years older here in 2015. While your original fans who hold you most dear are in their 30s, you're still aiming for that same age group in disregarding your original fanbase. And guess what? Your original
Have we been tricked? We need Grums to talk about this. Woke Sega still trying to sell to children instead of their real fans, who funded them all these years.
fanbase now have jobs with money to buy your games. They now have
Give Sonic tits! Give Sonic tits!
Sega, your demographic is here in the 18 to 30-year-old bracket.
Sega, stop gaslighting me. Stop gaswalling me. Please. I'm sick of your abuse.
This newfound knowledge, we need to bring some maturity into the Sonic universe, and this isn't done through guns and action. It's through strong, compelling gameplay, and a character the player actually enjoys playing as.
Oh god.
So let's go back to Sonic's new design. The first thing to go is all voice acting. So
If I was in the garden, you know, I go in the garden, I put out some seed for the birds, and then I hear a rustling, and I turn around and I'm like, what's going on? And this thing creeps out of the bushes, I'd be stunned for a second, and then I would stomp on it over and over until it stops moving, and then when I'm sure it's not going to follow me or escape, I would go and get a hammer and make doubly sure this fucking thing is not getting up again. He looks more like a bird than a hedgehog. They redesigned Sonic into one of those birds that you put on your desk that dips its head into water over and over again. A sipping bird.
So Sonic's idle stance is a little bit cautious. Like the player, he's a little bit unsure.
I want Sonic to have social anxiety just like me.
He's vulnerable, and this means we're on the journey with him. When Sonic runs, he keeps that cautiousness. Now here is where I want to propose something new. When Sonic jumps, he doesn't become a ball straight away like the original games.
This is sub-Chris Chan. Yeah, let's just totally destroy Sonic's identity in every way. Let's turn Sonic into Rain World, but bad.
A second action like the X button triggers a charge attack, and here he is powerful against enemies. Down and X smashes Sonic into the ground. Let's call this the body slam. Left or right and X gives Sonic a kind of air dash.
Is he gonna suggest it should be an endless runner? This is like designed for Bit Trip. This is like Bit Trip stuff.
While in his basic jump mode, he's vulnerable. And this adds a great tension into the gameplay by not
Shut. This man doesn't like video games. Sorry, he studied games? He has a game qualification? I don't believe he enjoys video games. I can't even play them anymore because of my eyes and my brain until, like, my problems are fixed. Whatever's wrong. And I feel like I'm more of a gamer than this guy is.
I believe the best way to use Sonic's speed isn't necessarily in a fast manner, but more so in a momentum-based system where the player determines how fast or slow they wish to proceed.
My solution is to let the player decide how fast Sonic goes. No, gotta go fast. Velocity is mandatory! Gotta go fast!
The most popular gaming genre across all ages is surprisingly puzzle games, with first-person shooters and action games close behind. Platformers being the least popular. I think you know this, which is why you've tried to blend genres by bringing in slower puzzle-based sections in your latest game. I say puzzle here very hesitantly. The definition of a puzzle is a problem designed...
Shut up, please. The new Sonic game by Zachtronics.
...to test ingenuity or knowledge. Like a jigsaw, we have all the pieces, but it's the question of how those pieces fit together that generates the problem. And there's a great feeling that comes when the solution
I'm gonna throw up. I hate this man so much.
Finally clicks in the mind of the player. This is compelling gameplay. In Sonic Boom, however, our ingenuity and knowledge aren't being tested. Without spending too long on this.
The problem with Sonic is I'm not being intellectually challenged.
So here I have an idea, which I believe solves our ring problem and our puzzle problem at the same time.
Okay.
Remember those...
Every time Sonic gets hit, you have to solve a captcha to continue.
Amazing power-ups you had in your highest ranking game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I want to bring them back, but also connect the collection of rings with them in a currency sort of fashion. If you press the Y button, Sonic opens his backpack into 4 power-up boxes. 50 rings essentially buys you one of these power-ups and you bring it out into the world. Invincibility, fire...
Is he poisoned from going through a games education to, even when he's not talking about mobile games and microtransactions and leeching money, his design tends towards mobile design and something that would typically be monetized to leech money out of people? It feels like he's been brainwashed into this kind of design.
Lightning and the water shield. Not only do they give their respective protection, but we can bring in creative ways to use them in simple puzzle scenarios. And the important thing here is...
And if you need it for a puzzle but you're out of coins or out of rings, you can spend real money.
We have all the jigsaw pieces.
Does he understand that he's created that scenario here? You can get the rings for free, but you're going to need certain upgrades for certain puzzles. And hey, you spent all your rings. Does he know that he's done this here? Did he know?
You could find a secret area with a road of spikes. The only way over them is you bring out an invincibility box, and this leads to a hidden collectible. You could have puzzles where
Damn, really intellectually stimulating.
You could finish a boss by forcing him to open a lightning box, but the shield brings out a bunch of spikes that destroys the ship. This completely expands options for level design, the way Sonic interacts with his environment, and also adds huge replayable value.
Let's make Sonic boss fights a matter of clicking the right thing,
while at the same time giving the collection and protection of rings some weight. Sega, this...
You mean 100% weight, because if you spend it all and fuck up, you're screwed. Or you have to have some kind of mechanism of making up for that. What are you talking about?
This is just one creative solution, but the bottom line is this. Respect the intellect of the player.
Respect my intellect. Give me hard puzzles like put something that can hurt my character and give me the option to press a button that makes those things not hurt me and then I can get past. Now that's what I call a puzzle.
But that said, we do need a reason to press the forward button. So let's look at the opening cutscene for your most...
Not if the game's sick. No, you don't. Not true. False.
Okay, with that said, let's look at a brief overview of the new design.
Here we go.
We've established that your target audience is now adults and no longer children. We bring...
Sega, your target audience is now me, and you need to make your game into the thing that I've always fantasized about it being. You'll make $1 million.
Sonic back into 2 dimensions. We remove all voice acting, and we shift Sonic's appearance to feel more vulnerable. A new moveset is introduced, which adds great momentum-based gameplay. And we've introduced a new game...
Just, hey Sega, I have a tip for your Sonic IP. Add great gameplay to it.
Mechanic through the backpack and power-ups, which opens up huge gameplay possibilities and replay value. Sega, this all comes from a place of love for Sonic.
I'm coming right at you.
The very first game I owned was Sonic 1 on the Master System, and I fell in love with gaming instantly. Your mascot made me love games and art, and it's been hard to see your franchise get crushed into the dirt. Even if you don't take any of this on board, I hope you are very intelligent with how you approach your next Sonic game.
I hope you're very intelligent.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Love, Java.
Oh my god.